purple party people at? Where they at?
Get down. Time to get on. It's time to party. Hey. It's time to have fun.
Welcome to episode 118 of Amari Purple Talk, a podcast where I share my thoughts on the Prince musical singularity. I'm Richard Cole, the Amari in Amari Communications, and every episode I break down everything in the world of Prince and all Prince-related music and artists, as well as genres of music that has had a major influence on his art. If you enjoyed the content on this episode, please download, listen, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and keep up to date on episodes of Amari Purple Talk and other content regarding Amari Communications. And with that out of the way, let's get started. Okay, so this week, I want to deal with the question of what will be released at the end of 2022. And the end of 2022, I mean, pretty much we're in June now. We're halfway through the year. We've got another 6 months to go, give or take a few weeks. And we've gotten some heavy Prince-related content so far. We're actually, by the time this airs, we should already have in our possession the Record Store Day release of the Gold Experience on vinyl, as well as the Sony Legacy reissue of the Gold Experience on CD. We've just recently had in our possession the Prince and the Revolution Live CD. I did kind of a quick review of that a few weeks ago, or a couple of episodes ago, and I did get a chance to check out the Blu-ray. Just some quick thoughts on that. The picture quality is absolutely amazing. The sound quality is amazing. I don't have like a sophisticated sound bar or anything like that to really immerse myself into the sonic experience of the Blu-ray, but you know, just what my TV can do. But the picture on the Blu-ray is just absolutely amazing. And I mean, it still sounds great. It still sounds better in quality than the DVD that came with the Purple Rain Deluxe back in 2017. So by all means, check that out. I still don't have the vinyl. I'll try to get that somewhere down the line. It won't be anytime soon. Like I said, gotta, gear up for that Record Store Day. Gotta gear up for that. So I don't know. Like I said, I'll get the vinyl somewhere down the line at some point. Maybe do vinyl CD comparison with that, if that's the type of video you want to see. Otherwise, let me know what CD vinyl comparison of a certain Prince album that you might want to see me do a video on. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on that. But again, we got 6 more months to go before the end of the year, which means, we need some Prince content, some brand new Prince material to fill those purple Christmas stockings, or, late month birthdays for someone, or late year birthdays for some folks. We've been pretty good. Roughly about 2, sometimes 3 major releases, not counting massive reissue campaigns. I know probably 2017, 2018, we were getting like maybe almost every quarter a trilogy of post Warner Brothers era reissues, getting those back into the market, back in print, for us to refill gaps or replace missing and worn out items, or, to give newbies a chance to discover this amazing period of Prince's career. Then kind of later, we kind of get into one major reissue of a certain out of print project, and then the super deluxe edition closer to the end of the year. So we've been kind of spoiled by that recently. But kind of within the last year, things have been kind of slow. Some of it due to vinyl pressing, global supply chain shortage situations, release pushbacks. Also, with the Prince estate, there's settlement of the tax debt, which now that control is now going to go from Comerica Bank, hopefully, finally, to the family members, and to Primary Wave, which acquired shares from family members that decided they needed to cash in early. So they need to get on the same page. Hopefully they are on the same page. So things have been kind of, I guess, maybe not the releases that we were, necessarily wanting. Some cases, the releases that we deserve. Like I said, I wasn't expecting the Purple Rain Live at all, but that was a nice surprise. And, something I definitely wanted to have in my personal Prince archive. I know people were expecting us Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe Edition around this time, or as early as late last year. We don't know what's happening with that, or even if that was a contender. Lately, rumors of a Parade Super Deluxe have started to resurface amongst the Prince musical singularity. So, what are we getting? So I'd like to kind of speculate and give some reasons why we might be getting certain releases, or the possibility of something else altogether. So I'm going to start with the Super Deluxe editions, and I'm going to point out why the latter half of 2022 would be perfect to receive a Super Deluxe edition. And in this, the two in question are Parade and Diamonds and Pearls. Now, they could come out of left field and say, hey, we're going to put out that Around the World in a Day Super Deluxe, which I would be cool with. And actually, in some ways, want more than a Parade Super Deluxe. Now, granted, I am one of those that's like, I want a Parade Super Deluxe. I want a Parade Super Deluxe. But I wouldn't be upset if we got an Around the World in a Day Super Deluxe. And same with Diamonds and Pearls. I mean, if they decide to roll with that, it's not really in my sort of top 10. I don't know. I really don't really have a top 10 of Prince albums, but I have fond memories of it. I enjoyed it when it was out. Again, not my favorite Prince album of all time, but I enjoy revisiting it. I enjoy pretty much most of the songs on it. Love the heck out of the videos. I remember buying the Diamonds and Pearls video cassette collection. So yeah, I mean, if they drop that, I used to have some of the outtakes, like Schoolyard, Something Funky This Way Comes, so I would love to have that, as being part of the vault tracks for a Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe. But you know what? They can not do that and come out of left field and give us, I don't know, the 1993, 95 Symbol era sessions box set, and I'd be happy with that too. In fact, I would want that more than a Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe. But again, if you drop a Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe, you will have my purple croutons, and I would still be happy. So, why would 2022 be perfect for any of that? Well, just in time for the Christmas rush would be number one. And there's no real order to this, but number one, just in time for Christmas. Because, it's Christmas, and that would be a nice, special gift, for someone, or something as a Prince fan you would like to receive from someone. Or, or a gift to yourself, after you've done all your shopping for everyone else. It's like, what, I'm going to treat myself to this, Parade Super Deluxe or Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe. And companies, whether they're record companies, whether they're department stores or whatever, they gear up for this time, and, they always want to put out the best stuff for that time of year. People are going to want to spend money, and that's probably the best time. And again, sort of keeping with that, I guess we're on this level of 2 projects, well, maybe 3 if you count something for Record Store Day. And that's kind of a pattern that I would like to see the estate move forward on. Some big standalone release, whether it's a live album like the Prince and the Revolution Live, maybe a compilation, not necessarily a box set, but maybe like a 2 CD era of just vault sessions, combination of outtakes, rehearsals, anything, but something, just one standalone release. Could be any era, doesn't have to stay in the 80s, doesn't have to stay in the 90s, could be any era. And then you can have something for Record Store Day, where you can do the stuff that, where there's a lot of us that want to see the Camille album released on vinyl. And Record Store Day would be the perfect way to do that, whether you do it as a Record Store Day exclusive or Record Store Day only, limited to X number of copies. But I would prefer where you would have it exclusively for Record Store Day, and then for the next couple of weeks, and then after that, all, mainstream release globally, have everyone have access to it. And there are people that, I don't want that, and I want something from a later period, but that's cool. Don't worry about it. But Record Store Day. And then for those that I don't want the Camille album, I want something else, then here comes the Christmas season, or the second half of 2022, to where that might be your turn for your favorite era. And again, big standalone release, a live album, or standalone compilation, or a compilation that can be sort of a brand new Prince album. Or it could be a big Super Deluxe edition. But Christmas would be the time of year for that. Second would be, in the case of Parade, this would be a Warner Brothers only exclusive. Now remember, when Prince was alive and he got his masters back, he had an exclusive deal with Warner, to continue with Warner Brothers. Hence the eventual release of the Purple Rain Deluxe Edition, but also his classic albums re-released on vinyl. And that contract extended all the way to 2021. Meanwhile, post, Prince's passing, and the estate is now involved and in control of the vault and the masters and everything, and it was time to make an all-inclusive deal, which they originally had with with Universal, until Warner Brothers said, no, We still have this valid contract with Prince when he signed it when he was, he was alive when we made this deal, and it goes all the way to 2021. So nope, you can't have these classic masters right now. And Universal balked at the deal. They wanted their money back, and so the Prince estate made a deal with Sony. Sony made an offer, and they were willing to wait until the expiration date on the Warner Brothers contract made with Prince in 2014. And at least, right away, they had access to anything from 1995 forward. So they, kind of bided their time a little bit, reissued a lot of the classic 90s and beyond material, and was satisfied with doing that, while Warner Brothers needing to cash in before this contract expired, was hitting us with some really good purple goodies. 1999 Super Deluxe, Sign of the Times Super Deluxe. So now that it is 2022 and Sony Legacy has the license. Now, the license doesn't mean that they own it. The Prince estate owns every master recording. I know there's people out there like, oh, they still hold on to the Black Album, and oh, they still got this one over here. And I don't know all the ins and outs about that, but I would assume that the material on the Black Album is still part of all of the masters that is in the hands of the Prince estate. Now, what Warner Brothers does have a license to is everything pertaining to every movie that Prince made, or has a soundtrack contract with, because making those deals is different than what's included in your standard record contract. So Warner Brothers retains the license to Purple Rain, Parade, Batman, and Graffiti Bridge. So for Warner Brothers, and here's the thing, Purple Rain is the sort of the holy grail in their licensing. And, we're a couple of years away, literally, from an 40th anniversary of Purple Rain. So I don't think that Warner Brothers is going to drop another Purple Rain Super Deluxe in 2022. I don't think they're going to do anything for 2023. And if they don't do anything major like a Super Deluxe for 2024, then they're probably going to hold everything close to the chest until 2034 for a big 50th anniversary. But I do believe they're going to do something for 2024. Whether it's a reissue or a slightly better reissue of the Purple Rain Super Deluxe. But that being said, rock and roll movies aren't, the epitome of, I should say, classic Hollywood. If you, I don't want to make an Elvis comparison, because to me, the movies that Elvis made in the 50s are way more interesting than 90% of the 60s movies, where everything was a cliche and tired, and even he was sick of them after a while. But if you look at, I guess, someone that's respected, which would be the Beatles, and you look at A Hard Day's Night, and kind of making this comparison. So you got A Hard Day's Night, and here's Purple Rain, which is kind of that equivalent. I remember one of the reviews comparing it to A Hard Day's Night in terms of quality, because there really hasn't been a rock film, and I don't mean like a concert film either, but one where there's a little attempt at a story or something. There hasn't been a rock movie of that type of quality since A Hard Day's Night. So Purple Rain is kind of that, 20 some odd years later, Purple Rain comes along and is, mentioned in the same breath in terms of quality, in production. The Beatles' second movie, Help, it's not as good as A Hard Day's Night, but people have fond memories of it and they enjoy it. Same thing with Under the Cherry Moon. It's not a great film, but I know for me personally, it's aged well. I do enjoy watching it. I enjoy watching it better now. I think even within the last maybe 20 some odd years, 20, 30 years, I've enjoyed watching it more than I did the 2 or 3 times I saw it in the theater. But it is a movie that everyone remembers well. And then you have the Batman soundtrack, which is really great. Although this isn't a Prince film, it's it's a comic book film to which he did the soundtrack. That's great. I don't know how many vault tracks there are attached to that. So I doubt you would see a super deluxe of that album anywhere. I'm sure, come, 2029, when there'll be a big anniversary release, I'm sure they'll reissue it at that time. Maybe in the interim, you might see a reissue of the CD, the standalone CD, no bonus tracks, no extras, no nothing. And maybe a release on vinyl, I would love to have that. But again, that's down the line. Like I said, they don't have as many cards to play in the Prince game than what Sony has. And now remember, this is just for the United States. Now, Warner Brothers has license to, whatever it is, manufacturing or distributing in other parts of the world, where Sony doesn't have access. So they're still collecting money in, at least overseas on the other Prince material. But remember that we're talking licensing, not ownership. The Prince family, the Nelson family, and Primary Wave have the control of the masters. All of them. So with that being said, in terms of Parade, it would be likely for them to release it in this latter half of 2022, because it's probably, after Purple Rain, their second most popular acquisition. And Warner Brothers has to make money as well. It's the music business. It's not the friend business. And they have to start making money on it. They're sitting on it, and they're going to have to start making money on it. Like I said, I always felt that after 1999, the most logical release for them, while they still had the license, would be Sign of the Times. They had to cash in. It was no sense in, we're just going to sit on this because they're going to get the masters in 2021 anyway. So, yeah, we should. No, they weren't going to do that. They had to make money. They made this deal with Prince and they needed to recoup. I don't know if there was any advance money, changing hands or anything, but either way, they made this business move. They made this business decision, and they need to, recoup on that investment. They need to start generating income on that. So while it's unlikely, and don't get me wrong, I mean, they could come out of left field and just decide, well, you know what, while we're waiting on Purple Rain's anniversary, we could go ahead and wait on Parade's anniversary as well. So 2026, we can go and drop that Parade Super Deluxe. Graffiti Bridge, hell, nobody cares about that. And again, they could reissue that on CD. They can just reissue the vinyl. That's fine. If there are relevant vault tracks to attach to it, they can make a deal with the estate and say, hey, we want to do a Graffiti Bridge Super Deluxe. It can happen. Unfortunately, it's not everyone's favorite film. To me, that's sort of the Magical Mystery Tour equivalent, where it's like, no, Magical Mystery Tour is not a great film. People respect it as a cult classic. In some cases, it's almost required viewing in some film schools or something, the whole abstract and surrealism and, lessons in that type of filmmaking. It's cool. The music is still great. And that's the same with Graffiti Bridge. The movie's terrible. It's not great. But the music is great. So, yeah, if Warner Brothers just wants to kind of hold their cards close to the chest again and say, well, we'll save Purple Rain for later. We'll save Parade for later. And we can either just put out a single on Batman, Batman or Graffiti Bridge. We'll just reissue the CD and the vinyl. We'll still make money, but we'll make bigger money in the long term. So that's one reason. Number 3, in the case of Diamonds and Pearls, it would be the perfect balance after releasing Prince and the Revolution live. Because there is that frustration. Now, granted, you have to look at, there are some things like the issue on vinyl on a lot of the Prince material from the 90s and early 21st century stuff. Some of this had never seen print on vinyl before, or it was limited in print. A lot of us still either held on to the CDs, or again, some copies might have gotten worn out or messed up or stolen or lost, or you probably hit some hard times and to survive you had to sell your Prince collection, and but all of that to say is that no one was totally ignoring how important that era was, because if they didn't think it was important, they wouldn't have put all that stuff back in print. They could have waited till, let's just release everything from the 90s and then, we'll just get around to releasing all that. And granted, even though Sony didn't have access to the classic 80s stuff until later, they still could have sat on all that Prince product, or they could have done something sporadically, or they could have just threw out a little greatest hits collection or an anthology and waited. But I think it's been a pretty good balance. Reissuing the One Night Alone, doing that as a brilliant package. The Ultimate Rave, where you got the Rave Unto, Rave Into the Joy Fantastic albums. You have the DVD, it's all in one package. So I think they've put a lot of care and detail into it. Now, granted, yeah, they could have put out some kind of super deluxe, I get it. Or they could have released some kind of standalone. But you have to remember, too, that it's not Sony making those decisions. It's not Warner Brothers making those decisions. It's the estate making those decisions. And depending on who you're listening to, there's a consensus from some family members that they're not the ones responsible. They're not, they weren't allowed to make key decisions. It's other people making these decisions. And while in a lot of cases we, the Prince musical singularity, have benefited from it, again, a lot of it may not be the releases we wanted. In some cases, it's the releases we deserved. And in other cases, it's like, okay, well, maybe this one isn't for me. I'll wait till the next one. And some folks are still waiting, and that's understandable. But, and like I always say, your turn is coming. Some things that I've been wanting forever, like let's just take the Camille album. It's still not announced, or there's no release date. Is it record store day? Is it mainstream release? It's something that I want. But what did we get? Purple Rain, Prince of the Revolution live. Okay, it's not the one I wanted, but hey, I'm still excited for having this. Or heck, Gold Experience. It's like, okay, I'll buy the reissued CD and I'll try to get the one for record store day. It's cool. Our turn is coming. But that being said, I still think it's a perfect balance, because it would satisfy those that, the 80s aren't their exclusive favorite era. So it's a nice balance. And I would like to see that balance continue. Like I said, if you're going to do 2 mainstream releases, or you're going to do a record store day release. Now, I love so far what they've done with record store day. We've got the Gold Experience. We got the Truth the year before. Those are great ideas. I think those are great ideas. And then, if they can do a Camille next, or they can do, I'm drawing again. Heck, they could do like a 2010 on vinyl and then reissue the CD, just like with the Gold Experience. If they did that next year, I wouldn't be mad. Like I said, if I'm not going to get the Camille album next record store day, then a 2010 vinyl, and then CD, day before, get it however you want to get it, from Amazon or whoever, and then make your play for record store day for the vinyl. Yeah, I'll be down for that. Perfect. And like I said, if you're going to do those kind of 3 releases a year following that formula, then you need to have a balance. 180s, big, tentpole release, whatever era, 90s or 21st century, for the second half of the year, or switch it up, and then something kind of middle of the road for record store day. I think that would work, but I think if you're going to do a Diamonds and Pearls for the second half of the year, then that would be a perfect balance. The next one, later eras would work better until the release of the Netflix documentary. We're coming up on 2023. Hopefully the documentary is finished. I don't know. I don't have no official word from the Prince Estate or Netflix regarding any release dates. There have been whispers, but sounds like 2023 is the target. And it sounds like that they have the rights, or first rights, to everything in the vault, because I guess whatever they're using for the documentary, again, it doesn't make sense, probably why we don't have Parade or Diamonds and Pearls, or why, if they were slated for release, why they now are on the back burner. I don't know. I kind of get into that a little bit later. But in the meantime, I think that if you're not going to do a super deluxe edition from any era, maybe something like releasing or reissuing Crystal Ball, the 1998 compilation of vault tracks from 85 to 95 or whatever the time frame is. That would be a nice buffer. Let's just go ahead and reissue that. That covers a wide range. You got your 80s, you got your 90s. Again, it would fill some gaps. I would personally love to see that reissued with the lyrics as part of the liner note booklet on that. Would love to have it. I mean, I already have my original copy, but to have that sort of reissued copy with better, colorful liner notes, which match the original Crystal Ball website, and you get that artwork with the lyrics in it also. Yeah, I would love to have that on CD and vinyl as well. So I would assume, and like I said, I kind of get into this a little bit later, but with the documentary coming and with them having so much exclusivity on, whether it's video material or vault material, studio material, whatever, yeah, I mean, I would like that to be a surprise. But if you just have to follow that pattern of 2 releases a year, then, again, just something small, something simple, something from the latter period, that can just kind of whet our appetites, and then you just kind of hit us with the big bang with the documentary. So those are the reasons for why a super deluxe edition would be perfect for 2022 or the end of 2022. So again, just in time for the Christmas rush. If you're going to release Parade, it's Warner Brothers' most popular acquisition after Purple Rain. And Warner Brothers has to make some money. They need to make money on this thing. Diamonds and Pearls, if you do that one, of course, it's a perfect balance for releasing, Prince and the Revolution live. It would be kind of boring if you came out with another 80s thing, no matter how good it would be. Like if you released a Parade live CD and DVD. It's like, that'd be cool, but it's like you just came off the heels of a Purple Rain. Kind of do one of the Miami shows from 95. Drop that CD and Blu-ray. Do that one. If you can. And probably if you can't, it's probably because of the upcoming Netflix documentary. But you want to put out something simple until that's released. Now, why would something different be perfect for the latter half of 2022? Number one, we're just waiting for the estate and Primary Wave to come to some kind of an agreement. And not to say that everyone's bickering, but the family members that have chosen to retain their shares in the Prince estate, they're kind of, raising an eyebrow to the family members that decided to cash in. And, we can't spend out of family members' pockets. And again, it's, regardless of what your opinion is about, oh, well, Prince never would have wanted this. And Prince never would. There's no will. And again, not getting into conspiracy theories. If there is one, it's buried under Paisley Park, or, both marriages, there was a will, but because of the divorce, those are negated. They're not valid. Whatever the reason is, at the end of the day, there's no will. It had to go through this process. It ended up with the family members. And because the Comerica Bank, they're calling the shots and this and that, some family members, all of them were saying, hey, we're not getting any money from this. Some, they're riding it out to the end. They're very diligent, and they feel that they have great representation that will put money in their pocket. And then there's others that's like, well, I was working this crappy job or barely making ends meet before all of this. And then you're waving the idea of all these millions in our faces, but we still have to eat. And they made a grown person's decision. Like I said, none of us would know what to do if there's millions of dollars on the table and have to make those type of life-changing decisions. None of us would know. We could pretend like we know what to do all day long, but no, we wouldn't. We really wouldn't, because none of us have ever had to deal with millions of dollars on the table with anything, anywhere. Most of us hope to. I would like to, but I don't. So I'm not going to play, Monday morning quarterback and try to tell these people how, what they should hold on to or what they shouldn't hold on to. But I do hope that there is a resolution, or that primary wave and the estate, or the family members that still have their shares of the estate, can agree to one thing. And hopefully that would lead to some very interesting things. I would say post Netflix documentary, post any hopes of a 2024 40th anniversary release of Purple Rain or whatever. After that, I want to see some very interesting things. I want to be more, surprised, and, I don't, if I do an episode saying I predict, because there's a lot of stuff I predicted, and bam, here it is. But, I want to say, they're going to do this. They're going to come out with this album, super deluxe, this. You watch, you wait and see. And then the time comes around and they come out with left field. And I'm like, dang, okay. I didn't see that one coming, but cool. Okay, I like that idea better than my idea. So hopefully they can come to an agreement, and that there'll be more of a solid plan for things in years to come. So by then it's like all of the vault material should be inventoried and cataloged by now. Michael Howe may have some great ideas on, he may have pulled some things out and is probably ready to drop that bomb on us. But again, the decision makers, maybe there's a transition period, a regime change. Like I said, you still got these two sides that have to come to an agreement once they have the authorization of everything. So it's going to be interesting. But I think why something different than in that case, keep it low key. If you had an original plan, say if you had plans through 2024, and then with just in the past year and a half, you've had this thing with primary wave coming into the picture and the tax settlement, finally being resolved, and now you got to wait for these parties to sit down at the table and figure out, well, okay, we've made these plans, or plans have been made through 2024. Let's finish that. And then let's, what are we going to do come 2025? What will we do next? What's the next step? And hopefully that's taken place. It's already in place, and it's just a matter of now we're going to sit back and wait and see. We're going to get to that 2025, or who knows? Maybe they can agree to say, you know what? Let's just scrap everything and let's just start fresh. Who knows? We'll see. Next. Again, releases could be standalone until the release of the Netflix documentary. And the reason why I made this an option is because in addition to the documentary, I'm expecting, again, there's no official word from the estate or Sony Legacy or Netflix, but I'm expecting like a major marketing push, and I'm expecting part of that to include a soundtrack, which is not unlike the recent Zappa documentary. To me, I enjoyed that entire documentary, but what really locked me into it were the first few minutes. There's footage of Frank. I guess they're interviewing him for something, and he's taking him through his, I guess his house and his vault. And there's all the master tapes of everything, all cataloged and, on these shelves. And it's like, man, if we can see something like that with a Prince documentary, whoo, that would be amazing. But also, what was great with that Zappa documentary, there was a 3 vinyl set, 3 LP set, and a 3 CD set that was the soundtrack. Everything that was used in the documentary was part of this, 3 LP, 3 CD set. And if there's not anything similar that would accompany the Prince Netflix documentary, like, 3 LP set soundtrack with, some hit us with some vault tracks we never heard before, some live footage, or live tracks that we haven't heard before. Blow our minds with it. Blow us away. 3 LP, 3 CD set. Yeah, I mean, they would just have to. There would be a riot if, it's like, cool, we got this documentary. How come we don't have the soundtrack? Oh, you played, what was that unreleased track? I've never heard that one before. And everybody's going through their little vault tracks and bootlegs like, I don't have that one. If this doesn't happen, I would be very, very disappointed in that. So I think that until there is a soundtrack for that Netflix documentary, then again, it'd have to be something simple, like a little standalone something, just to kind of whet our appetites until then. And then finally, the addition to a big 2023. Let's see. Well, let me take that back. Maybe something big will come in 2023, but also a huge 2024, and that is again with the 40th anniversary of Purple Rain. No matter what your favorite era is, 40th anniversary of Purple Rain should be the year of Purple Rain, really. Again, no official word from the estate, no official word from Sony, no official word from Warner Brothers. But if it was me, if the Prince estate called and said, Richard, which they always do, they always call and consult me on these things. They'll say, Richard, hey, look, Purple Rain, 40th anniversary. What should we do? So if it was me, give the world a bigger and better Purple Rain Super Deluxe Edition. Make it on par with the Sign of the Times and the 1999 Super Deluxe. Use the vault tracks for, that were actually recorded during the movie's life cycle. Movies in the can, movies in the theaters. I don't need the rest of July through December of 1984. I don't want to see it on a Purple Rain Super Deluxe. I want it on an Around the World in a Day Super Deluxe. So everything from 83 to 84 that pertains to the movie, those are your 2 CDs of all tracks right there. Do the Atlanta show for your DVD for the live concert footage. And if you got another Purple Rain show, or you can do the Purple Rain show, you can do the benefit from August 3rd of 1983. You could do that. You can even do that as a standalone. Reissue Ice Cream Castles, reissue Vanity 6. you can release the First Avenue birthday show. You can do that as a standalone live CD, vinyl set. It would just be the year of Purple Rain. And once that's done, at that point, I think that you would see super deluxe editions. Like I said, if they do 2 a year, one from the 80s, another from a later period, 90s, 2000s, whatever. That would be, that would be interesting to see. So the reason why something different would be perfect for the latter half of 2022. Again, waiting for the estate and primary wave to get on the same page, come to an agreement, and have a plan in motion from, moving forward, whether it's from next year forward to 2024 forward, but to just have a plan, and it's something to where the families are part of the decision makers. Like I said, the family members that sold out to primary wave, again, hopefully they're on the same page. You could do standalone releases until the release of the Netflix documentary. And with a big 2023 with the Netflix documentary and a big 2024 with the 40th anniversary of Purple Rain, something different than a super deluxe would make sense. It would make sense. But what do you guys think? Well, I'll tell you, I did do a poll earlier in the week. And as I'm recording this, the votes are still in. There's another couple of days left. But by the time this airs, it would be over. But so far, here we go. So, gearing up for a future episode of Amari Purple Talk, what do you think the Prince Estate will release for the latter half of 2022? The choices are Parade Super Deluxe, Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe, or something else. And 29% of you said a Parade Super Deluxe. 66% of you said Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe. And something else got a 5%. So this is a sharp contrast to a few years ago. Now, I don't think I did a Parade versus Diamonds and Pearls with the poll. But in previous polls where I put up Parade versus, say, maybe Around the World in a Day, that might have been a little bit of a closer race. I might have included something else in those previous polls as a third option. But Parade was always the front runner. Now it's shifted. So now we have individuals that are looking forward to Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe more so than Parade. And maybe some of that stems from the symposium, the Polished Solid Symposium that was done earlier this year, where the highlight was the Diamonds and Pearls and the Symbol album, or mostly the Symbol album, but why those two albums were important, why that era was important. And yeah, I mean, I enjoyed those symposiums a lot, and I come away with an appreciation for those albums that I didn't have previously. Again, I enjoyed those albums. I enjoyed Diamonds and Pearls more so than the Symbol album, but there's things that I did like on the Symbol album. Listening to the presenters and speakers, some of the panels, the group panels, Like I said, I've come away with a better appreciation because I was hearing it from what they enjoyed about those albums. And yeah, like I said, again, I wouldn't be mad if they dropped Diamonds and Pearls at the latter half of this year. Again, still get my purple ducats. I still enjoy it. There's still vault tracks from that era that I'm looking forward to hearing in great remastered quality, professional quality. Like I said, the music videos, I would love to see a re-release of those as well. Hopefully that's included. Let's see. I don't know, as far as I really honestly haven't listened to. I think I used to have a CD of one of the Diamonds and Pearls shows. Not knocking people that enjoyed it. I don't think I enjoy, and it might just because of the crappy quality of the recording. So if I had a better quality of it, I might change my mind on it. But I don't know. I didn't enjoy it as much as I've heard, from other bootlegs of other eras or other tours. But like I said, it just might just be because of the sound quality, maybe certain nuances. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad if you did drop a Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe Edition. But, I mean, Parade is still the one I'm looking forward to the most. No. And something else, like I said, probably depends on the something else. I don't know, maybe if I snuck Around the World in a Day in there, maybe the vote would shift a little bit. But again, 29% for Parade Super Deluxe Edition, 66% for Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe Edition, and then 5% for something else all together. So again, what do you think? Do you think you're going to get a Parade or Diamonds and Pearls Super Deluxe Edition for the end of 2022? Or do you think we'll get something else like just a standalone? Could be another concert from a different era. Could be a compilation of some sort. Leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts. And that is going to end this episode of Amari Purple Talk. Thank you once again for tuning in. Again, be sure to like, subscribe, listen, download, hit the notification bell, share the content, tell everyone. Also, help me keep this show going by buying Amari Purple Talk gear like t-shirts, coffee mugs. Also, we have We Funk, to the last beat, to the last bass, to the last band. We Funk. Those t-shirts, buying those, that helps keep the show going. Also, there's a We Funk single that's exclusively on Bandcamp. I'm trying to finish the EP for that. But if you purchase the single, donate on Bandcamp, that will buy me the time that I need to get this finished and out to where it's in more of a widespread release. You can get it on a streaming service near you. So if you support it on Bandcamp, I can make that happen. And again, that helps keep this show going. Plus other content like the CD versus vinyl. I want to do more of those. There's other ideas. Also, I need abundant free time so I can do like actual interviews with folks. I've got some ideas and I want to see those ideas come to light. It's just that with my current non-essential gig, no work-life balance schedule, I don't want to waste, someone's time. Like, say, if I want to have Jesse Johnson on the show, or, if I want to have Andre Simone on the show, or Brown Mark or somebody, I don't want to waste their time if I get to a date and the work-life balance isn't there, because their time is more money than my time. And I want to bring you a quality interview. I want to have more co-hosts on the show. Plus I want to upgrade the studio and all that. So buying those t-shirts, donating on Bandcamp, that helps. In fact, at the end of this, if you stay with us, you'll hear the entirety of the We Funk single. Just check it out. May not be everybody's cup of tea. Hey, I don't profess to be Prince or the greatest musician in the world. I'm very primitive. I also would like to get my 3 best friends back together and try to do something together and, bring you some funk that way. But check it out, and donate, or, just keep hitting like. That way the people that do want to check that single out, they'll be able to hear it. So, and I'll also share it too on the, YouTube as well. So, like I say, check it out, buy some gear, buy some merchandise. And until then, hey, I'm grateful for everybody that keeps tuning in. I like it when those numbers go up as well, or they stay consistent. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and I will see you next episode. And until then, create your day and create your life. Peace. So many years, we continue to toast to the one. This is not the last call. We didn't come here to fall off. Free your mind, and ass will follow. We come to funk and keep it on the wood. To the last beat, to the last bass, to the last band. We funk. We funk. We funk.
Hey, going on the funk. We come to keep it on the one. Whoa, standing on the verge of getting it on. We're getting up to get down, down, down. We can feel it everywhere. Relax and let the rhythm to take you there. This is not the last call. We didn't come here to fall off. We've only come to funk and keep it on the one. To the last beat, to the last band, we funk. To the last beat, to the last bass, to the last band, we funk. To the last beat, to the last bass, to the last band, we funk. We come to take a stand. Just listen to the band. You giving up the funk, and it's alright tonight. Yeah. For the pioneers, overseers of the mothership, the funk flag is in a grill.